All right. GAG, everybody. Welcome to what's going to be another great DevNTell. So if you didn't know, DevNTell is a 30-minute window for members of the DAO to showcase their something they're passionate about or been working on. This can be an awesome project you've been working on, demonstrating unit testing best practices, automation goodies, smart contracts, how to structure a project, etc. Basically, if you've got a passion for something, this is your opportunity to share it with the community. And today I'm happy to introduce to you Dusty, who will be demoing to us the long tail social token. Take it away, Dusty.
Hey everyone. So I'll just get right into it. I've been kind of a game developer for a while. Then I kind of stopped because I could make more money investing in cryptocurrency than I could
Nice.
developing, games. And so when I had tried investing in all kinds of different projects, but found out that there a lot of them just don't fit my standards. And this is long tail social token is an effort to create something which will fit my standards as an investor, something I would actually want to invest in. And but I should go back and say, the reason why they don't fit my standards is because, like, in my opinion, cryptocurrencies, they either have utility, which is great, or they're a mechanism to transfer money from one group of people to another. And most project creators really are primarily interested in being the group that gets money transferred to them as much as possible. And I just don't think that is really healthy for the space. Like that's kind of like what you do when the space is new. And in order for cryptocurrency to advance in general, we need better options. We need better engagement with projects that aren't just primarily there to make the project creator rich. Um, and so the idea that I had was to create a stable economy. And in my opinion, a stable economy is something that has a currency, and it also has a product that you can buy with that currency. It's not just a currency, it's not just a product, it's both of those things. So that is kind of the idea behind long tail social token, is that it and the other thing that is important, like, in the digital world, everything that has value is focused around community. Like if you think of anything that you've really enjoyed that's purely digital, it's almost always the community around that thing. Like, even, online games, social networks, chat rooms, whatever, it's all about the community. So I wanted to create this thing, the social token idea, that is a cryptocurrency focused on community. And so how I do that is there's a token, there's a coin, and that token is paired with an NFT. And then both of those things are upgraded with gaming mechanics because, you know, I'm I'm a game developer, or I used to be. And well, I mean, it's not just me working on this. There's a small team behind it too. But so the coin has staking rewards, and the longer you stake it, the more rewards it'll give out. The higher your APR, there's this interesting thing you can do. You can Let me show you that here. You can you can mine the coin, and so mining is basically, if you have an ended stake, once a stake ends, mining just in a batch transaction sends all of those ended stakes back to the people that stake them. and that allows you to basically use much less gas because one big batch transaction is much cheaper than a whole bunch of individual transactions. And so um, this is kind of like how staking works. Um, so the token prints, some rewards for what it does, and then to counter that, to kind of balance out that economy, you can also buy an NFT set with it, and that NFT set burns some of the token, kind of creating a more stable sort of a system. Um, the NFT is, I actually call it a social NFT because it's not at all like the PFP NFTs that are on the market. Um, it's not like Bored Ape Yacht Club. So it has there are tiers, right? So you mint the NFT, you can mint it using the token. Um, with 10 long tail social tokens, you can mint one NFT, but that'll be a tier one NFT. And in order to get higher tiered NFTs, you forge them together. So you burn one, forge one into a higher tier. And the kind of interesting thing about the set is that it is not fixed. It is constantly growing in um, cooperation with the community. So the we're building a council, or we're going to build a council of people that are interested in advancing the story of the story of the NFT set, and also a community of artists. And so the council releases bounties that of something they want an artist to draw in order to advance the story, and the artist fulfills those bounties. And by going through that process, when the bounty is fulfilled, um, some of the token is given to the artist and the council member, and as that they get a reward which is tangible, and then that piece of art gets put into the set, and and then it gets minted. The contract will mint it for new stuff, um, and so people can enjoy it and interact with it. Um, the idea there is that everybody has is kind of rewarded for interacting with the community. So I mean, people online, I found they only engage as much as they like really are rewarded to. Um, and so like like you go on Twitter if you feel that you have a reason to go on Twitter. Like you want to communicate with the people. Um, and so having tangible rewards for interaction is positive for the community. It's positive for the set. Um, the whole thing is designed to be a lot like SCP, kind of where there's a bunch of different creators with a bunch of different ideas, and they contribute to this common story, kind of a visual story. um, and the story for Longtail, like so that's kind of like what a social token is, like just in general. And that could be applied to a bunch of different like themes. And so Longtail social token is themed around furries or animal human hybrid kind of characters. Um, and that is kind of because that community is has it doesn't have a real good online place to gather, and it also is strongly focused on art creation. um, and so it's that's one way that the social token can go. I am we're hoping, like we start out this way, and then we issued like different ones with different themes, like maybe some um, Japan Japanime kind of stuff, and like a sci-fi related one, um, and kind of have these different communities that each have their own engine. Um, Another important thing about the the idea is everything is community focused and decentralized. So, like I said before, I I don't think it's right. I don't think it's good for the space that the developers always kind of so many of these cryptos kind of put themselves into a space where they're just trying to secretly siphon as much money as they can out of the system. Um, and so my my goal here with this one is to just be an investor, right? Like everyone's an investor, and so it's an entire community of peers in a sense, as far as the mechanics of the token go. Everyone has to buy the token if they want to invest in it, um, or work for it. Like you perform work for the economy, or you buy the economy, you buy into the economy, and that's how you make your gains, and that's how the team makes their gains as well as a peer. Um, and so that's kind of an overview of it. I can show you a little bit on this screen, like how these things work. Um, like this is staking. You get a base APR. You get a little bit of a bonus when you hold some of the NFTs. There, you know, you get a tiny percentage for each tier that you hold, and then they add up. So if you hold a tier 3 NFT, then you get a little more. And if you hold a tier 3 plus a tier 2, you get a slightly larger amount. And then as you increase the time that you stake for, your APR goes up. So if you have a if you have a stake that's really long, like this one is 5,000 days, then you're getting a lot, but it takes a long time to kind of break even. Um, the idea there is that a stake is a promise. It's designed so that you have your own goals. You can decide when you want to withdraw, when you might want to sell, um, but so that you kind of react based on what you actually want to do, in advance, and behave in kind of more of a predictable manner than in a kind of response to the market. Like you don't sell if there's a dump because you've got everything staked, um, or and then if a bunch of people don't sell, then the dump doesn't really go very far, and so it kind of helps the whole economy of the system to have people willingly choose to lock their stuff in and get a reward for it. And yeah, so you get a reward if you go to the end of your stake. If you withdraw it early, which you can always do, you can always withdraw it. You get a penalty. Let's see here. Yeah, if you withdraw it early, you get a penalty, and the penalty is like it starts out as twice as much as the reward you would have gotten, and then just linearly increases until when you're 2/3 of the way through your stake, you get to the break even point, and then you start gaining, an actual reward for holding it longer. So that is kind of an overview of the mechanics of long tail social token. We have let me go over the invite system, because that's kind of like we kind of have a launch plan. We're going to start in 2 weeks, so everything's pretty well finished at this point. The website can use some work, but we have a launch plan, and in 2 weeks we're going to deploy the contracts, and for the first 21 days of the deployment, we have kind of an anti-bot system, which is an invite system. Um, so we have so no one can trade the token unless they are invited, and all you have to do to be invited is you have to get an invite code, and then you go to the um, this page on the website, and you enter the invite code. If you're not logged in as an invited account, it asks you to enter the code, and the code just adds you to the list. It is a far better system than it's kind of like a whitelist, but it's a whitelist where you don't have to send out your wallet address to anyone. You just have to be sent an invite code. And so you enter your invite code, and then you can trade as much as you want. So the token is going to be on an invite list for 21 days, and then after that, the NFT is going to be able to be minted, and it should be great. Everyone's going to be it's going to be super fun. So we have a Discord group, and we're going to be building the community. If anyone here is interested in the token, I can find the chat room and post a link to the Discord group. You can send me a message. I'll send you an invite. And it won't be valid for until we launch, but you can sit on the number. And that's kind of it. I think. How about, does anyone have any questions?
Yeah, man, this is really interesting. Could you speak a little bit more on the forging? So is it like you you use the tokens that you have to forge an NFT, or can you use NFTs to forge further NFTs of like higher
Uh,
levels?
yeah, okay. So there are two functions in the contract. There's mint and there's forge. And so mint is creating a tier 1 NFT from scratch.
Mm.
And so that uses the tokens that you have. That uses 10 long tail social tokens. So you buy the tokens on Uniswap, or you get sent from a friend, but probably you buy them on Uniswap. You mint a tier 1 with 10 tokens, and then you can forge to upgrade the token. And so the tier 1s are kind of really basic.
Mm-hmm.
And tier 2s are like your typical PFP NFTs. They have a character. We have right now 10 characters created. So every time you go up to a tier 2, it will assign that NFT a character, and then that NFT stays at that with that character
Mm-hmm.
for the entire progression. And so Tier 2 is a PFP type NFT. Tier 3 is more like a hero image. It's like a scene that kind of is in that character, a moment in that character's life. Um, and he kind of tells a story. Um, and then Tier 4 is a page in a comic book about that character. And that kind of tells some aspects of the story that really just can't be told like purely visually. Um, the um, yeah, so that's so each character kind of has their own story. They're kind of based around like that character's personality and like personal like kind of their own growth.
Right.
Um, and oh yeah, so the set isn't like completely finished. Like we have a lot of content that we've been creating for the past year um, for it. But the idea is that the set will grow over time with this process of a council and bounties where they add to the set, and then it will be kind of more finished out, and the community um, like the community will decide kind of like how the story develops and like how the world develops. So it's going to be a community based like community based storytelling effort in a way. Um, and then all the art is licensed under CC under a CC license, a Creative Commons license. So um, you can create fan art of the NFT images and expand it in any way you want. And then kind of the NFT itself, the images that are in the NFT kind of act as like canon
Mm-hmm.
in a way for the story. And then but we're encouraging people to create their own kind of stories or visual like their own drawings about the NFT, and it may not be canon, but it can be interesting.
Dope. And do you foresee these NFTs kind of expanding utility in this community you're looking to build as they're leveled up, or are they just for basically progressing the story like you mentioned?
So my main focus is on community development.
Mm-hmm.
Utility, I I mean, I have this thought that utility is like kind of not as important as community, and,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean that maybe that's just my opinion, but the I'm I think that the bringing people together is the it's the extent of the utility that I'm planning on working on for this set.
Gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, you need community to kind of push your project forward, and then everything else is kind of like an afterthought, so to speak. But
Yeah, I mean, I
yeah.
just think it's developed into kind of a situation where a lot of project developers will just promise a bunch of stuff
Mm-hmm. Yep.
with no real intention of delivering.
Yeah.
So everything for this project that is promised is I mean already in process. Like I'm not promising anything that I don't. We're not the team isn't promising anything that isn't um, completely capable of being delivered. And so um, I we, I feel like that's just a better way to bake things. Like
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. It totally makes sense. I mean, we've all seen the very ambitious roadmaps of many projects, and
Yeah,
all that really happened was like a token sale or NFT sale, and then like silence. So
yeah,
yeah, I feel you.
yeah. I mean, what really gets me is when they're like, "We're going to build a game,"
Yeah,
like that's just a thing that you just do. Like, we don't know what game we're going to build. We're just the community will tell us. And
yeah, yep. There's a
I've
lot of
worked on
those.
games. I know they don't just come along, just
Oh yeah,
because you wanted to.
oh yeah, yeah. Way bigger beast than a lot of people realize. Uh, but yeah, there's I guess seeing as we have only about 3 4 minutes left, is there any questions from the crowd? I guess if no questions, one more question or a couple more questions for me. So what chain have you built this on, or is this your own
Uh,
custom chain?
yeah, no, yeah. This is built on Ethereum. It's I'm not interested in reinventing the wheel in that respect.
Yeah.
I think there's enough interesting mechanics that like um, that I don't need to push the envelope and try to build a whole validation system. Like the the essential like if that was so in my opinion if that was like actually adding value to be on
Hmm.
my own chain that then it might be worth looking into but like um I mean, why? The problem is your own chain is your own silo, and this
Right.
is all about community. It's all about coming together, and kind of advancing the space. And I mean, I think that there's a real need for people to, developers to like use to integrate more tech, not to try to make everything on an um,
Yeah.
individual thing. Yeah. So I mean, maybe that was more answer than you wanted, but yeah, this is on Ethereum, um,
Excellent.
and yeah.
And I guess a final question for me is this open source, and or if not, are there any ways for people to follow the progress and or help you out if there's anything you need helping out with?
Um, well, absolutely. So the contracts is it open source is kind of a nuanced question. So the contracts, of course, will be published and they've been audited,
Hmm.
and the code will be readable and copyable. And it's under an MIT license, so in that sense, um, the website not really open source, but it's just kind of an interface, really.
Hmm.
Um, and so the really the best way to get involved and we love involvement, especially if we would like, especially if somebody would want to contribute, in terms of like art or counsel or direction. We have this system that is not going to be implemented right at the beginning, but it's a system for like kind of like a true proof of stake system is what I call it. So there's a voting system that is tied in with the staking system. So if you have a stake and if it's not near the beginning or the end of the stake, because there are reasons why you might not be voting in the interest of the economy as a whole if you're near the beginning or the end of your stake.
Hmm.
Um, if you're right closer you are to the middle of your stake, the more votes you have. Um, so people can vote that have staked for other reasons because they're invested in the economy and they get votes. Um, we haven't implemented what the votes do yet, but major decision making will be conducted in that manner.
Excellent, excellent, and great way to end things off here. Thank you so much again, Dusty, for coming on and sharing Longtail Social Token with us. A very interesting project, and we'll be keeping an eye on it for sure. And yeah, with that, I want to wish everybody a very happy Friday, happy weekend, and be on the lookout in the general chat in the server for the POAP drop. And
And I'll post a
yeah,
link to the Discord. And like I said, if people want to message me, I'll give them an invite link
perfect.
for the token too.
Excellent. Excellent. Looking forward to it. And I guess with that, want to wish everyone a really great one, and we'll catch you back here next week. See you again.
Thank you.